Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Kelly at Treehouse Wildlife Center. Hello.
Hi, Cole. Hi, Cole.
And who do we have back here?
We have Hetty and Jack. Both are barred owls, permanent residents at our facility.
And I'm so tall now that I can't get distracted by the animals because I have this board right in the way. So there's no point looking over there. But let's start off with, how did you get these owls here?
Both Jack and Hetty were hit by cars, we assume, because both were found on the roadside. Unfortunately, both lost an eye to their injuries and are unable to be released back to the wild.
And we like to kind of apologize for all the bald eagles in the background. It sounds great, so we don't apologize too much. But if it messes up the audio, then you gotta explain it at least a little bit. They're really loud today. But where can you find barred owls in the wild?
Normally they would be living in the wooded areas along the edge of the woods, and they would be mostly active during the dawn and dusk time.
So they're more like crepuscular than nocturnal?
Yes, thank you for saying that word, not making me do it.
But that's fine. Oh, so a lot of people think that owls are strictly nocturnal, and that's just a misconception.
Right. So there's a lot of reasons why an owl might be disturbed during the day, but barred owls really prefer the dawn and dusk time, not necessarily the strictly nighttime.
So what kind of animals would these owls eat on?
They would eat mice, small reptiles, snakes, amphibians, rabbits, and squirrels.
And are there any, like maybe larger birds or other predatory animals that would pose a threat to the barred owl?
There are other animals that will hunt them. I think the great horned owls will attack them. So there are animals that will actually attack them.
So how do they get the name barred owl? Because I see like they kind of have a unique design on them.
Right. It is named for the striations, patterns you can see in their feathers.
And how does that coloration help them in the wild?
They will be able to kind of hide into the wood of the tree, the bark of the tree, and kind of blend in a little bit.
I definitely see like the barred owl, as much as most other birds, fish species, they're darker on the top, so if anything's above them, kind of like blend into the ground, and then lighter on the bottom for the sky. I always forget that word. I never remember what it is, but I think it's super cool and how common it is amongst like most animals. So what is one of your favorite things about the barred owl?
Working in the rehab aspect of it, Jack is actually an awesome foster parent here at our center. So we will be able to take Jack in and help us raise our orphaned barred owls that come in. So he will help us by keeping the animals from imprinting on people rather than the species of the adult of their own species. So that really helps us ensure that these animals will not imprint on us and will have more survivability in the wild when we release them.
Are there any unique challenges in rehabbing barred owls compared to other birds of prey?
Barred owls are very, very calm in the rehab center or in our clinic. Great horned owls, as soon as you turn on the light, they're at the bars ready to fight, but our barred owls are pretty generally easygoing, and up until you actually touch them, do they really get excited.
So what are some cool adaptations about these barred owls?
All owls, as a matter of fact, have feathers that are specialized that allows them for silent flight. They also have a flap on their ear canals that help them with detecting where their prey is.
Pinpointing where the prey is. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe like their ears are at slightly different levels so that they can help pinpoint better.
Yes, that also does help them with their location of prey.
So what kind of things do you guys do to help birds of prey or even these barred owls that can be released to the wild? Like what are some steps that you take to get them out there?
Okay, we do have a raptor complex, our flight cage, in the back of our facility. And we will take the animal after it has cleared the clinic and it is no longer in the medical care, and we will put them out into the raptor complex, and it has 96 feet of space where they can fly. And once they leave the clinic, they go into a small enclosure out there so they can rebuild their flight muscles, so they can start going back to more of their nocturnal type cycle. With barred owls, of course, it was the dawn to dusk type. But then once they have built up their flight muscles, they will be released into a flight tunnel where they will have to be able to fly not only distance but elevation. And then we will also watch to ensure that they are finding food and eating for themselves.
Well, it must be like a long and like kind of painstaking process at times, because obviously you don't want to spend too much time with the animal or even like train it on what to do. You just have to let it do its own thing.
Right. So with most adults that come in, we don't really have to do too much as far as the flight training, because they have already been doing that in the wild. Our orphans are the one animals that we really have to be concerned about. So we then have to make sure that they are aware of how to hunt. And then so we do have to monitor to ensure that they are eating properly and being able to fly the distance and learning the different perching things.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about the barred owl and then a little bit of the rehabilitation behind that.
You are welcome.
Which obviously is your job. You could probably talk for hours on that.
Sometimes, as long as the questions are easy.
Well, again, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for watching this week's episode. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe to my channel. Check out my Instagram @ColeShirk. As always, I'll see you next week.